La la la, hey, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to the show. The conversations we have during when we're down with Jamie. I'm telling you, poor Brenda's sitting here going, "Is it like this every day with you?" We're going to talk about something so very important, though. When it comes to claiming an injury for a car accident, it'd be completely overwhelming for people, and specifically for a lot of women out there. And a lot of women are both working and doing the majority of the housework still at home. So if something like this comes up for them, what do they do? Well, Brenda Hollingsworth has written a great book called Crash Course that helps us deal with all of these issues. There's the cover of the book. Brenda, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
First of all, why did you decide to write this book, and why specifically for women?
Well, in a lot of ways, the book wrote itself. These are answers to the questions that I get every day in my practice. We get lots of calls, lots of emails. What do I do? So I knew what questions needed to be answered. Why women? One thing I've noticed is that women are often very reluctant to make a claim. They think there's something sort of shameful or embarrassing about admitting that you're hurt and you need help. So this is hopefully to address some of those concerns. And also, as you mentioned, they're often overwhelmed with work, children, house, and then just dealing with an insurance claim is just yet another step. So this book is sort of to cut it down and help them.
Do you find in today's society as well, I mean, let's face it, I mean, a lot more divorces nowadays, a lot more women raising families, and they're on their own to begin with, right?
That's right. And so often single mothers have, don't have the support, or other single women don't have the support. Elderly seniors don't have the support. So they're looking for information, and they're looking for information in a non-intimidating way. So that, again, the book is supposed to help with that.
The great thing is that even though it's specifically for women, anyone can benefit from the
when I read it, I went, I didn't know that.
Exactly.
Oh, sure.
And I think what we should start out with is talking just in general terms of what, if you were to file a claim, what typically happens anyway.
Okay, well, one thing to know is that if you find it overwhelming, that's normal. Ontario actually has the most complicated car accident claim system in North America. It's not necessarily the skimpiest, and some of our benefits are pretty good, but to get them, there's a lot of hoops. So a lot of people are surprised, even if you didn't cause the accident, you still have to call your own car insurance company, and not just for property damage to your vehicle, but also to activate accident benefits. And that's even if you're a pedestrian, even if you're a cyclist, you have to call your own car insurance company. So that's strange for a lot of people. They send you forms, and they're not easy. There's 12 forms, and one of the forms is 7 pages. And you have to fill out basically everything from the time you were born practically. But once you do that, the insurance company has to respond and give you accident benefits. And that's actually also true even if you caused the accident.
Well, so where does the insurance adjuster come in, and what is their role?
Well, there are 2 different types of adjusters. Putting aside the property damage, your car's smashed, you'll deal with somebody about that. But putting that aside, to deal with your injury, there are 2 types of adjusters. One is the adjuster for the accident benefit claim, and that's the no-fault benefits. You hear talk about no-fault benefits, like they'll pay your physiotherapy, that kind of thing. There's an insurance adjuster who will deal with you on that. There's also an insurance adjuster who will deal with you if you were injured and you have a serious and permanent injury and want to bring a lawsuit. There's an insurance adjuster for that too. 2 different people, usually 2 different insurance companies.
It sounds so complicated.
I know.
Why do we think it's so complicated?
I know. Okay. Now, I'm sure there's people out there that try to do this by themselves without consulting. You said you get a lot of questions in the book, but people try themselves.
Absolutely.
What are some of the common mistakes that people make when they're doing this?
Well, the most serious mistake you can make after an accident is not getting medical attention. And you'd be surprised. A lot of people think, oh, I'm stiff, it'll go away. And then suddenly it's 6 weeks later and it hasn't gone away and you haven't gone to the doctor. If you want to later make a claim, it's a lot more difficult to make a claim when you haven't seen a doctor for 6 weeks after the accident. How do you prove that it was the accident that caused the injury? And plus, you also miss out on the opportunity for early rehabilitation. So that's, you wouldn't think that that's a surprise, that's a common mistake, but it is. Secondly, you have to preserve the evidence. If your car got smashed up, it's either going to get written off and you're never going to see it again, or it's going to get fixed. If you don't take pictures, that opportunity is lost, and you're never going to be able to show how bad the accident was. There are other people who take pictures, but they don't take pictures to show how bad the damage was. They take pictures to show how to minimize it.
So, Brenda, obviously people can represent themselves,
For
but
sure.
when do they get to that point where they should be seeking out a lawyer?
Well, there's certain kinds of injuries where it's a no-brainer. If you have a serious head injury, quadriplegia, paraplegia, any kind of spinal injury, if you have a serious fracture, you probably know that you've got a serious enough case to go for a lawyer. And so that's kind of obvious. Where you've hit an impasse, you don't think you're being treated fairly, that would be another opportunity. If you've got a voice in your head saying, I think I'm getting ripped off here,
right.
Listen to that voice. I mean, you and I were talking earlier about how most Ottawa personal injury lawyers will offer you a free consultation. Take it. You don't have to sign up with that lawyer. It's not going to be a sales job. Take the opportunity to see if you would benefit from a lawyer's meeting.
Great advice, Brenda.
it's
Thank
good.
you so much for
bet.
joining us.
Thank you.
This
I know,
lawyer's
just
meeting.
this conversation. Where can people pick up a copy of the book?
The book's available free of charge to people in Ontario at www.personalinjuryottawa.ca. Just there's a form, click it, and we'll send you one no charge.
Fantastic.
Nice.
No charge. Hello.
I know.
Free consultations, free book. Brenda,